Well, as you can see, we had a nice, wonderful spring snow. I'm on my way to go get a new windshield because this one's cracked. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I just cracked it. Well, here we go. We've got the Honda running. That's the first step. This thing has sat for 2 years. Back in 2019, a friend of mine got in an accident, and the person that hit him just happened to hit the front bumper, hit the front quarter panel, fender, the passenger side door, and the back passenger side door hit the back quarter panel. Yeah, it was totaled. So this wonderful little car sat for 2 years. And then one day I was talking to my friend who said, I was telling him about some needs I had, and he's like, "Do you want my car?" I was like, you gotta be kidding me. No, he wasn't kidding me. So now I am the proud owner of a 2004 Honda Accord that needs a buttload of work. What I'm doing right now is I'm driving to Raul's. I'm driving to Raul's Auto Glass. Why Raul's? Well, because it's cheap. And that's what I'm looking for. You know, I paid nothing for this car. He literally gave me this Honda. Well, there's a couple reasons why. Obviously the bodywork and the paint. And that's gonna take some time for me to sort that out, but it has a check engine light, and the check engine light reset because the car sat so long that the battery died. So now that I've got it recharged and I've got it running again, it reset all of the emissions systems, and I can't go get an emissions test till all those reset, which means I got to drive it for a while, and I had to insure it. My insurance that I was currently on would not insure a salvage title. And that and a bunch of other things kind of brought my wife and me to the conclusion that it was time to part company with those people. So I had to wait till the current month expired. I wasn't going to be double insured, so waited until the current month expired. My new insurance just reset. Here I am, riding in my Honda. So I thought while we were driving, I might just talk for a second about what's got to happen to this car. First, why is the check engine light on? Second, in the here in the wonderful state of Utah, we have to have a safety inspection for a salvaged vehicle to make sure that it is safe to drive the thing on the road. And the only thing that was really wrong with it as far as the accident was the body damage on the passenger side, which really is minimal. I mean, it's not making it a dangerous vehicle to drive. There's nothing wrong with the driving. There are two issues though. One is the windshield is cracked to the point where it's a mess, and we got to get that fixed. That's a safety issue, they say. And the Serpentine belt is it's pretty toasty. Both of those I'd figured out, and there was nothing else. That's nice. I am noticing on the dashboard right now, it says maintenance required. That's an oil change. Oil life is at 0. The ABS light came on. I don't know what that is. So I'm going to have to bust out my Innova OBD scanner and figure out what that is. Well, that's why I bought the thing, is because it has SRS functions. And I just haven't had a chance to connect it yet and find out what's this code for the airbag that's been pulled. I don't know. We'll find it out. And a new windshield. We'll be closer to registered, legal, not in fear of a ticket. See you in a minute.
1 hour later.
All right. The windshield is done. And frankly, it looks amazing. They did a great job. $140 for a nicely done windshield. Had a really interesting experience there too. One of the guys working in the shop is a young kid. I'd guess he's probably 17. It's a family affair, you know. Raul owns the place and his brother works with them. And Alex, the young man that I'm talking about, when my vehicle was finished, he pulled it out and just, you know, being nice, left it in the lane, not in a parking stall. So it's sitting there waiting for me. He comes in to tell me, hey, the vehicle's done. And a guy who, you know, doesn't speak a lot of English is getting in his van and he's ready to pull out. He sees my car behind him and he thinks in his mind that the guy in the car hit it. So the guy is sitting there and he is mortified. He is really having a hard time because one, he doesn't speak any English and he's just hit my car. And he's looking at me like, oh crap, what are you gonna do? And I look at it and the bumper is, you know, I mean, the bumper, it's already damaged from the accident. And this kid Alex is looking at me with scared eyes too. And I mean, I don't know. I'm feeling bad. I'm feeling real bad for both of them. But as I assess the damage, it's cracked the bumper a little bit more, and it wasn't clipping back into place like I had it. It was at least stuck in. It was clipped up inside the fender. So as I'm sitting there thinking about it, it's like, you know, this is not a big deal, but they're feeling like it's a big deal, and I don't blame them. I would too. Backing into someone's car and he thought I'd driven off. That's what it was. And oh man, I've been there. People make mistakes, right? Things happen. And it just seems like right now everyone is so intent on causing people heartache and seeking their pound of flesh instead of just take a deep breath, man. It's not the end of the world. So anyway, I asked Alex to tell this man, just dude, it's a mistake. It's not the end of the world, and I'm fine. I'm gonna replace that bumper skin anyway. Don't act like the world's coming to an end here. Anyway, talking to the guy, I told him just don't take it too hard, and it's time to move on. And he said he was speechless. I told Alex, tell him I'm speechless. I don't know what to say. It's okay. Well, I asked him to go in and see if they could clip the bumper skin back in so that it wasn't flapping around on me. And so they did. It took, 5-10 minutes. They got it clipped back in. I was grateful for that. But then I grabbed Alex and just said, look, Alex, you're okay. I want you to understand something, that people make mistakes. That's why Jesus is there. He loves us. And It's all right. Just trust Jesus. He'll bless us. And he looked at me, and I could feel the relief in this kid's heart. He's probably getting told by his uncle, or maybe it was his dad, I don't know which, but I'll bet he got a few choice words said to him in the back room while they were fixing the bumper. But then Alex said, you do good, good comes back to you. That's right, my friend. You do good, good comes back to you. You know, I hope everybody's thinking that every day, because without it, there's no way we're all gonna make it. It's just too complicated right now. Everybody's out for blood, you know? They wanna punish people when they do something wrong, and you just can't be that way. If you're always that way, you're gonna be an unhappy person. That windshield looks fantastic. First step towards getting this vehicle refurbished. All right, so I'm on to another project now. Every one of us has been in that situation, you know, where there's something wrong with your vehicle and you can't solve it. You don't know what's wrong. Being able to fix the problem is one thing, but knowing what the problem is, well, that's something entirely different. And in my experience, diagnosing things is much harder than fixing them. My wife and I were out driving around, heading off to IKEA to buy some furniture, and the brake light and the airbag light came on and stayed on in the Suburban, which, yeah, it kind of freaks you out. I don't want to die. I don't want to kill someone. So we went home, immediately grabbed the owner's manual and read about it, and they just basically said, bad things, go home. So I did. Well, I took it to the shop, and while I was there, they ran their little scanner. Well, there's a small fix and there's a big fix. The small one is a couple $100. The big one's $1,000. Well, I know which one I'd like it to be. So they went in and they guessed that was what was wrong, was the couple $100 fix. And so they did it, and the brake light and the ABS light, well, they went off. That was nice. Until a few weeks later when it came back on again. And they told us if it comes on, come back. So I came back. I made sure, because you know those intermittent things when it's just flaring up and it's weird, you don't know what's causing it. Well, I went back when the lights were on and they hooked it up to their scanner. Nothing. No code. You gotta be kidding me. And I began to read a little bit about it and found that what was wrong is something in one of the sensors, and it could be serious, it could be small. So I took it to the shop. This was back in the day when I really was a little bit nervous. I'm going to be honest that what kind of happened for me was watching Tavares and his little expression, wrench every day. That got me thinking that I'm never going to get better at this unless I actually do it. And so I started working a whole lot more on my cars. There's a book I've read. The book is called The Phantom Toll Booth. It's a child's book. But in it, there's a character who says to the protagonist, you can swim in the sea of knowledge and come out dry if you're living on the island of jump to conclusions. That little thought is profound, right? Swimming in the sea of knowledge and coming out dry. Well, that's no good. None of us want to have that experience. And the problem is when you jump to conclusions, and you've done it, right? Every one of us has done it. Where we thought we knew what was wrong, we started throwing money at the problem. Maybe this will fix it. Maybe that'll fix it. And pretty soon, a couple, $300, $400, $500 later, and you got the problem. I'm swimming in the sea of knowledge and I'm coming out dry. Why? Because I'm living on the island of jump to conclusions. I don't want to do that anymore. The answer, well, there's more than one. Obviously, experience and knowledge is going to make a big difference. But one of the answers that I found for myself is this little guy right here. I did a lot of reading, and no one recommended this to me, but that one right there. The Innova 5160 RS. I don't know what the heck RS stands for. Really shocking results. Maybe it's that. I know, that would be RSR, right? I get it. So why do I pick this OBD scanner? Because it will read factory codes and reset them. It has OEM information that you can't get. It has an app that you Bluetooth connect to, and they'll give you some, not lots, some technical bulletins on how to fix things. Supposedly, I haven't used this feature yet, I'm able to call an 800 number and talk to an SAE certified mechanic. That sounds better than better could possibly be, right? Maybe too good to be true. Don't know, haven't tested that little feature yet. But just the same, it also has ABS and SRS codes. So guess what I did? When those two lights came on, see, I didn't have my camera ready, but I plugged in my OBD scanner and you know it. Not only did it have a code for me, it had my code history. Well, this little scanner that I've got, it's paying for itself because the $1,000 fix, that was the one that they said was the other option. It's not what's wrong. I'll post in the comments what's wrong. I don't remember the code right now. I wrote it down. I've got it. But when I YouTubed it, the part I can pick up for anywhere from $150 to $200. But there's a guy who tells me that all it is a solder has come loose on a circuit board in the braking system. I need to pull that sucker out, desolder it, and then resolder it. I'll get to that fix. I haven't done it yet. I'll get to it. But think about that. This scanner that cost me eBay, I got it for a pretty good deal, $275. That's a pretty good deal. And I'm hoping, and I'm sitting in the Honda right now, because on my dashboard is a light, and that light is an SRS light. It's telling me that my airbag is having a problem in this new, used, wonderful, free, salvaged title car. So I'm about to plug it in, and this time I'm ready, and I'm going to show you. But right now it's linked, and it's downloading all the info for this particular vehicle, which is the Honda. And it says it is linked. Okay, if I hit the system status, boom, right there. See right there, it says SRS. That's what I want. Now, it's pulling up my SRS codes right now. I'll tell you what it says. One moment, please. Short and passenger airbag cutoff indicator. There it is. That's my code. I got to turn this kind of at a funny angle or else it's blasting it. If I hold that just right, you can see it. See that? That's worth money. Me, I feel comfortable with the Innova. It has been nothing but good for me. On the dashboard, I had a light on for my airbag, and the suggestion was that it was this switch that was bad. The switch itself isn't bad, but the bulb burned out. And apparently that bulb is in the circuit, and if that circuit's not on, or the bulb doesn't come on, then it's all bad. You have to solder a new bulb in. It's an LED bulb. If I could find one, I could solder it in the old one. It'd work just fine. But you notice, light's not on. But when I click this, my indicators are now on. And when I take the seat belt and plug it in, you'll notice now that the off light comes on. There's nobody seated in the seat, and so it's still off even though the seat belt is plugged in. So the bottom line is, as the video that I linked to in the description says, you got to pull this out, you got to replace that switch. I got mine at the junkyard for $4.99. That's the easiest fix ever. SRS light is off. I just thought I'd summarize for you everything I've done in the last 2 weeks on the Honda. New windshield, new wiper blades. Got the compression test done on the cylinders because it's an old motor. It's got 245,000 miles on it, and it passes. There's got to be no more than 15% differential between the highest PSI and the lowest, and it was 164 and 143. It couldn't be lower than 139. So it's close, but it's still passing. It also can't drop below 135 PSI and have the motor still work, so it's fine. It's looking good. Also, changed the oil and the oil filter, replaced the spark plugs, got a new air filter, fixed this problem here with the airflow tube that was cracked, got that at the junkyard, saved a bunch of money doing that. And the battery, when I brought it home, was given a warning light, and I reconditioned it. I'll put a link in how to do that down in the description. Also changed the serpentine belt. That got it to pass the safety test. Then I cleaned up the cloudy headlights also on the side. Showed you how the SRS light was on and fixed that. Also got that at the junkyard, saved a bunch of money. It passed emissions, and tomorrow I'm going to get it registered, which is awesome. I've had it for a couple of weeks, done a lot of work on it. What's still left is I got to get the evap system to come online so that I know whether or not it's going to have a check engine light return. Next up, though, is something fun. Here we go. Just, you know, everywhere you look, it's just really, really gross. Clean the living crap out of this car.